What does it mean to be a hero? I think it can be best described as a person who is admired by others for their courage. And that's exactly what this journey is about for me. First and foremost, it's a personal journey. I am embarking on this adventure to challenge myself, to test myself. I want to be able to get through to the end of this journey, wherever it takes me, and be able to reflect back with a sense of pride in the courageous actions that I have taken over this journey. As a byproduct of that, I know that there are so many others out there who are facing their own challenges, challenges in terms of showing up and being their authentic self, challenges in terms of figuring out the uncertainty of how all the pieces are going to come together to allow them to achieve the success that they're looking for. And if I can inspire anybody to start their own journey, to start taking meaningful, positive action towards the things that are most important to them, to feel that sense of discomfort and uncertainty, and to be able to make a plan and take consistent, regular action anyway, then this exercise will have been worth its weight in gold just for that reason alone. For those of you who are just tuning in for the very first time, my name's Paul Heron, and this podcast is the From Zero to Marketing Hero podcast challenge. It's a year-long adventure that I'm still at the starting point. We've made it to day 3. Can you believe it? Day 3 of this journey already. And already, I said this yesterday, I said the same thing, but the insights that I am gaining from this, the conversations that are being started with you guys and the people there has been fantastic. And, I know it's early days. I know I'm just getting started, but I'm just getting even more excited as time goes on about the prospect of where this potentially is going to take me and how it's going to be able to help everyone else that sort of does get involved. So today I wanted to talk on the word hero is going to be the focus today, and what that means to me and why that word has made its way into the title. And, I think I've said this on previous episodes already. Anyone who knows me really well would know that that's not really the way that I would normally talk about myself. And, this definition of hero, this definition that sort of talks to someone who takes courageous action. I've always thought of myself as someone who's adventure seeking, someone who's not afraid to step into the unknown. But this domain is the one space where I have not felt at ease ever in the whole 5-year period in terms of putting myself out there. And this whole exercise is about courageous action. That's probably the best way to describe it. It is really about being uncertain about what is going to unfold, what I'm going to have the body to be able to follow through on. It's about enabling myself to set ambitious goals and to trust in myself to be able to take courageous action, even when the time comes where I wake up on falling out of the wrong side of the bed and I just don't feel up to it. My hope and my goal is to be able to just turn up and hit that record button and post something. My goal for this year is really nothing more than to turn up, to be able to record, upload, post a podcast every day for the next 12 months. And I know that if I can be courageous in that journey, if I can make it to the end and have taken regular, consistent, courageous action, then I know that I'm going to be in a completely different spot to where I am now. And for me, that's what that label means. That's what that word hero resonates with me. We spoke about how after 5 years of being in business, in many ways, I still find myself at the starting line and where zero comes from. And today I want to talk to, what that hero means to me. And I guess a good place to start would be defining what it's not. This is not about becoming the expert or the definitive person that's going to be able to solve all your marketing challenges and problems. It's not about that. And I know that's not realistic, and it's not where I want to be. It is not my goal. This is all about growth and stepping into the unknown and tackling some of the resistance that I have experienced up until this point and taking regular, consistent action towards my goals and hopefully learning a hell of a lot along the way throughout this journey. I mentioned a moment ago that 3 days in, after going through this process 3 times of making a plan, following through and recording an episode of this, getting it posted, getting some feedback, getting some valuable feedback from some of you guys, and using that feedback to be able to get curious about what worked, what didn't quite go to plan, and how I can improve things for the next day has been hugely transformational already, and I'm 3 days in. So I'm asking you guys just to imagine if you can go through a similar process every day for a year, that's 365 opportunities to be able to put this into action. If you can imagine going through that positive cycle of planning, making a decision about how you're going to show up, taking an action, getting really curious about the reflective piece, and rinse and repeating this every single day for the next year, there is no way that I am going to be still standing in the same place I am now in a year's time. Exactly where I will be, who knows? I've been putting a bit of a target, a target in place, which I hope to share, which I will share actually in a future episode to come. But I have a target of what I would ideally love to get towards right now. But this target needs to be dynamic in many ways. This process of continual growth and evolution and putting in the practice of just showing up and doing this every day is going to take me to places that I can't even comprehend right now. And what I need to do is just trust in this process, trust that if I am disciplined, if I do continue to show up, and I am able to really get curious about the things that work, the things that don't go to plan at all. I'm sure there will be some complete disasters and failures along the way, and that's okay. That's actually perfect. That's, some of those things that don't go to plan are going to be where the most valuable lessons come from. And, I just want to trust in this process and come out the other side of this as someone that people can look up to and see the courageous action that I've been able to take. And what's actually really funny is, this is not a new framework. I have been developing this framework and I use it in my coaching program, but I had a really good friend of mine reach out yesterday. Hi, Leroy, if you're listening. And he gave me some fantastic advice, starting with the principles of marketing. And what he said to me is that there is a marketing principle called the RDIE principle or framework. And I love it because it just so closely resembles the framework that I mentioned earlier, where in this marketing framework, it's all about researching and, understanding who you are, understanding who your target audience is and all the nuances there. Development, which is developing products that solve your customers' core problems. Implementation and evaluation. And I could not agree more. And, particularly this evaluation piece. And Leigh's exact words were, this is the framework. This is the marketing principles that all marketing should adhere to. And the last thing he said was, it's just these principles on rinse and repeat. And, that is exactly what this is about. It's exactly what it's about. It's about trusting that we have everything that we need right now to be able to make that decision on what our next step is. Trusting that we have our vision in place in terms of ensuring that we're pointing in the right direction, and trusting ourselves with the action. And the action itself being the win. And, this ability to be able to sort of detach a little bit from results, external results, to be able to just trust ourselves with this process of deciding what the next thing is, taking action, getting curious about the feedback that we get, and having this forward spiral sort of propel us forward is what this is all about. So when I come back to the name of this podcast, Zero to Marketing Hero, that's what I'm trying to inspire. I'm trying to inspire this process where we jump in the deep end, we feel uncertain, we feel the fear, but we make a commitment to ourselves and we just jump in and do the work and get the work done. But we do it in a way that is teaching us along the way. You know, again, not being totally fixed on a particular set of external outcomes that we're trying to achieve, but being willing and able to be able to get really curious with all the feedback that we get that is going to enable us to make small steps in the direction we're wanting to go, and to be able to pivot and continuously adjust our plans. And, you know, the plan that I outline in a future episode that's going to come up soon, I'm actually excited already to get a year down the track and come back to this and just see how different it is, because I am absolutely sure it's going to be different. Going to be, I can't comprehend where I'm going to be in 12 months' time, but one thing I do know is if I'm willing to take disciplined action every single day, if I'm willing to learn from the feedback that I get and constantly pivot and update my plans, you know, the sky really is the limit, and I'm sure of that. So again, I'm super excited to have everybody who's tuning in involved in this journey, and I can't wait to continue this process. You know, my commitment is just to continue to show up one day at a time. And with that said, I might leave it there for now. A couple of things that I've got that have just come up over the last 24 hours since I spoke last time is community is a big part of this for me. You know, finding a way and a place for anyone who is thinking along the same lines, who wants to start their own challenge, who wants to get involved and ask me questions or get involved in coming on the show. You know, so creating a place for people to be able to come together is something that was really important. So I've actually just last night, created a Facebook group. So I'm going to post all the videos associated with these podcasts in the Facebook group. So I'll leave a link in the show notes below. If you want to watch the videos, come along, join the Facebook group, join the discussion. If you're not subscribed already, subscribe to the podcast and get all future updates, hopefully for every day for the next year. And I am just super excited. I can't wait to be back tomorrow. So bye for now. Let me know your thoughts in the comments, and we'll be back tomorrow. See ya.